Someone comes into my backyard, I want to know. And so I've been looking for a good, smart security camera, and I think I may have found it here. So I was looking for a smart home camera to set up for my backyard. And when Soliom offered to send me this pair, I was delighted to say, yes, I'll try it out. Soliom did send me the camera, however, they are not paying me, and this is not a sponsored video. How did they know that I don't know. Maybe they saw your Google search results? Could be. So we're looking here at this pair of cameras that is called the Soliom SHB01. And what you get here is a solar camera that is wireless that connects through its own hub inside your house. And these cameras connect like any other smart camera where you can control them and use them, get notifications of everything that you need to keep tabs on your property and your possessions. Hey, I found some of them. Oh, just the dog. Certainly in the market today, of all the cameras that are out there, this is a very serious contender for something that you're going to want to look into. These are well-built cameras that perform well. They are above average in terms of their megapixels. These are 5 megapixel cameras which have a very sharp picture. You can identify faces and objects with them. And as I noted, they attach to a solar panel, which has performed really well for me. Let me give you a few more details. Everything comes in the package that you will need except a connection to your internet, which you will need to provide. But once you get this connected, it will install very easily. You'll have to download the app. And then I did use a couple of power tools to set mine up. It's just a little bit easier to pre-drill a hole and put the screws in, but these are small screws, and I think you could manage this without any power tools if you didn't have any on hand. It did not take me long at all to set up both cameras in my backyard, and I was able to set them up so I had a good view of 2 different directions. So I live in a safe neighborhood, and yet I live in a city, and so I do get some people wandering about from time to time. And over the years, I've had people in my backyard, I've had people even in my garage. I have an open air garage, it's an old house, and so sometimes people will wander up. I've had vandalism happen, I've had things stolen, I've had intruders on our porches at night, so I like to have cameras around the house to know what's going on. And so these provide a great option to keep tabs inside my fence and up my driveway. Hey, there's something there in my backyard. Oh, that's the dog, Golden Doodle. To keep tabs on these 2 directions inside my fence and up my driveway, so I always know what's going on. Now you'll notice in the installation that these come with a nice cord, so you can hook up this solar panel and mount it directly on it, or if you need to, you can mount it a little bit higher or to a different angle than the others. Now you always want to point your solar panels to the south if you're north of the equator. And mine, I actually had to install where I don't get a lot of sunlight, and I'm installing them in the darkest part of the year. So I was a little worried about getting enough power to keep these running. It's been rainy, it's been cloudy, it's even been snowy, and I haven't had any problems, honestly. They have been steady, keeping a charge. They've been at 100% every day, and they come down into the 80s sometimes, but they haven't gotten any lower than that. So a very good system to keep these running without any power cords. These cameras come with a pre-installed memory card so that the storage is local. It is not on the internet, and they will store a good amount. I've only used a fraction in the 10 days or so that I've had these running, and there have been quite a few events between me, my kids, and my dog being in the driveway or the backyard. Ah, there's something, and nope, that's the dog. So I did a couple different tests with these cameras concerning their ability to capture a clear image. And I think that's really important because you not only want to know who's in your backyard, but if you're going to submit a report to the police, you want to be able to clearly capture a face on the camera. And especially with something that's not a doorbell camera where someone may be further away, you want your camera to be able to give a pretty good idea of who it is. And so I did a few tests here with different distances, just showing how the clarity matches up to other things. So even here, I'm showing a different image. I videoed with my iPhone. My iPhone is a 15 Pro Max which has a very good camera and a very good lens. And you'll notice I can't tell the difference from a distance between the two cameras in terms of the image that they capture. Now, is there a difference? There is, but it's very minimal between a very good cell phone camera and this security camera. So these other tests that I did in the driveway were showing at a distance of 30 feet how this image looked, and then at a distance of 20 feet how an image looked. And then I compared how the camera picks up, comparing it to the current doorbell camera that I have on my main front porch or side porch door. And so just comparing the clarity as someone approaches what you're going to be able to pick up on a camera like this, and decide, is this a value for you? Is this what you want to install to keep your property safe, to be able to make a good analysis of what's happening there? I set my cameras up and then I end up moving them to the highest level of detection. And one of the aspects that they promote with these cameras is they have a very low false detection rate. And I actually haven't had any false detections. I haven't had any notifications that weren't valid in terms of something moving, a person or a dog that needed to be noted. And so that's exactly what you want. If you're going to turn on your notifications for a camera, then you really only want to get notified when something real is happening. One of the most impressive features to me with these cameras is their ability to pan, to tilt, and to follow, to track a human being. And so this feature, picking up on a human and then moving, I think is a very important one. I've said in another video about home security that I don't think people take cameras very seriously. And so I think a thief trying to be on your property doesn't care a whole lot about cameras and even lights coming on. However, a camera that moves, I think, is a different element because it demonstrates that something is paying attention to that person. And so I think that the movement on these cameras is a better deterrent than the average security camera. And if I were a thief, it would bother me to see that camera move and follow me as I was on a property. I'm not a thief. Going back to this clip, you see the auto tracking feature. This is not me moving the camera. This is the camera tracking me in the backyard. And so I think that is a very solid feature. So your videos are going to record typically in 10-second increments. That's what it's preset to preserve the battery. You can extend that, but it's probably not recommended. Now, you can download the video clips, you can go live, you can control the cameras with your screen by pressing on the different direction, and you can decide where to point it. You can have a home position for the camera, or you can just set it to scan and it will move around the yard and show you everything that's going on. And so these are very functional. The app works very cleanly and very intuitive, and downloading to your phone is easy. There's no problem with that. So if you're looking for a security camera that works, that gives you notifications, that gets good, clear pictures of things, that's versatile, it's weatherproof, it needs no cords, and installs easily, I think you're going to want to check out these Soliom cameras because they are a quality product that I'm very impressed with. I did finally get something besides my dog, this cat coming and going, and then a rabbit leaving the premises, maybe because of the siren.